Good afternoon. My name is Joy, and we are bringing you C.A.R.E.ing Conversations from the Center for Abuse and Rape Emergencies. I'm here with Corporal Robert Gay from the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office.
Hello.
And Robert, tell us a little bit about your position and how long you've been working with C.A.R.E.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
I'm with the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. I'm assigned to the Major Crimes Unit. We investigate, for the most part, crimes against people. And I've been with this unit for almost 2 years, and before that I was a detective with the Criminal Investigations Unit. I've moved here back in 2007, and prior to that I was in El Paso, Colorado.
Okay.
Also being a detective, and a gang detective there, but as a deputy sheriff.
And you're in the DV unit here, which is in Major Crimes?
Yes. The DV unit is part of the Major Crimes, I guess, family. We encompass economic crimes, computer crimes, major crimes, and the DV unit, and also the sex trafficking, people who have that specific training as well.
Okay.
We also investigate sex crimes, crimes against children, and like I said, part of that is also the domestic violence unit.
And as a dual center here at C.A.R.E., of course, that's what we do too, domestic violence and sexual assault.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that we work with victims of childhood sexual assault, which has got to be one of your hardest cases to deal with.
Yes.
We know here at C.A.R.E. that many times counseling or assistance or even the fact that it happened doesn't come out to adulthood.
Right.
Doesn't happen. What has been, your experience in some of the cases that just never went anywhere?
Well, and you lead into something that's really important, is that cycle.
Yes.
And the involvement of children in a domestic violence situation, as well as being victims of sex crimes. Breaking that cycle is key, because children are so pure in their thinking and their modality, is that when they see things happening, they perceive that as being okay or acceptable.
Normal.
Because that's how I grew up. So
Right.
when I'm in that role 20 years down the line, that behavior is normal. And that's why, getting in there, getting the neighborhood involved, getting the community involved, because we have different roles. You have your role and we have our role. Sometimes our roles, because of different aspects of the law and
Right.
legal abilities, our role, ends to a certain point, to where that's where that community of involvement really can help it. Because if one thing cannot be taken care of, let's take care of the problem altogether.
And sometimes our roles complement each other
Sure.
in that timing. It's all about timing sometimes for survivors. And I know I have played that middleman, once or twice that
Sure.
that made it go forward when, if they had to have the answer right now, it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
It just wasn't going to happen.
Right. And we try not to give anybody any excuse not to get that help that they need.
Exactly. Now, C.A.R.E. has been around for 38 years, and we are very grateful to the Sheriff's Office to be a partner. I know we have an advocate there as well,
Yep.
and we interviewed him recently.
Yeah, I saw that
but
one.
how do you see the work together working, and how can the community help?
Well, our teamwork is paramount, and also not just for the domestic violence aspect, for aspects of the rape victims as well, because again, getting that support I don't silo things or put things in, but getting that support is different than the criminal investigation.
It's way different.
There are two different entities there. One is the person, and the person is of course, its own living entity, and the case is almost a living entity too, to where things change with the case. Things take left turns, things take right turns, and then when we're completed with our investigation, it goes to the state as well. Now the state is another aspect of this community, and now with the DV unit and having Chad over there, having that direct access to Chad, say, hey, I got questions. What other resources can you provide?
Right.
This might not be exactly on in the C.A.R.E. group, but you have other entities that you could reach out to and help us as well there. But between the domestic violence detective Shively,
Oh,
and
yes.
our analyst, and having Shad there, it's like a three-headed dragon that could really go after those people who are responsible for those crimes, but also getting that initial the phone call the next day, or the phone
And the
call
support system for the
getting
victim.
that right, getting that instilled, saying this isn't what it was, a couple of years ago with the sheriff's office. We're taking a different stand on this, and that direction was first by Detective Permel, and who got that going, and to really go out there and to grasp those victims.
Yes.
Almost immediately upon, getting a good night's sleep, or the next day saying, hey, this is what we got.
Will you explain that? Because some people don't understand that concept of,
Okay.
Well, why would you wait that long to do an interview?
Well, sometimes things are still traumatic. And any type of traumatic incident in their life, people don't normally go through. Their senses are hampered.
Right.
To where the police officer or the detective out there, where sadly, we kind of become, this is like a not a routine, but we know the playbook.
Sure.
We know what has to happen next. We know.
And the victim doesn't.
Right, because this might be their first time doing that. And with that entwined with the training we get from CHBC, from that CIT training, that
For the trauma-informed care, yes.
We know that these people might be going through some traumatic things, and not maybe hearing everything we're saying. We're giving them a pamphlet to read, but I mean that's fine. And they have that information, but it's like, well, what's happening? Talk to me. What's happening? But and our job is to establish probable cause for an arrest. If that's what happens, make that arrest, put the bad person in jail, or the person, not the bad person, but the person who made the bad decisions in jail. But the next, and then this is the pamphlet. If you need anything, give us a call. Well, I mean, sometimes not all victims call us.
Right.
Especially in domestic violence situations. So this is new territory. So the next day, so people go to sleep, or maybe not to sleep, but they're able to
have some time between the incident and
the seas have settled a little bit. And the next day, they're getting contact from the sheriff's office, and now they're a little bit more calm. The senses are, there's not as many senses pinging, and they're able
that's
to.
a good way to say it. Yeah.
And they're able to talk to the detective who knows their concerns, or Chad, whoever's been able to reach out, and that way they know that okay, we really are here.
Yeah.
We're not just saying it. We are here, and then also. Many times too, the past, we've been always working on the victim, always trying to provide information to the victims for a very long time. Of course, this is America. We always try to improve what we got. So having this relationship, establishing this relationship is great, but we're also focusing on the predator.
Right. And by the way, it's okay to call them bad people in our category here when we're talking about rapists and abusers. Quite all right.
Yes. So we also focus on the offender. So we'll call up the offender.
It does take a community. Yeah.
It does. And this is a little bit, this is with the DV unit. This is another way of trying to correct, this problem. So we're going to reach out to them saying, hey, you're kind of being put on check here. We're letting you know at this point, due to either the crime, how many times we've been out to the establishment, how many times they've been arrested, that you're going to receive certain levels of attention from the sheriff's office. Sometimes it might just be a letter saying, hey, this is not needed here. We want this to stop. We're going to be, you're put on a list. We're going to be keeping an eye on things.
Oh, okay. Like the High Point model.
Yeah, exactly. It's the High Point model.
Okay.
The High Point model is the model we use. And we've taught that to the deputies out there in the street as well. Okay. So they know that model. I'm not a pro in that model, so I'll let
No. I am impressed. Yep. I mean, I didn't know. That's great.
So we let them know as well. And that might just make them think about it better next time. Because, of course, we want the victim to become, empowered. But we also, we don't know what's going to happen, down the line with their relationship. Was this a bump in the road, or is this something that's been going on for a long time and we finally caught it and it needs to be dealt with?
Exactly.
So we don't know what the outcome is, but we just want to at least make sure everybody has the tools in their belt to take care of it. And sometimes that might be a tool to the suspect. Say, hey,
do you want help?
No more. And we offer them help as well.
Exactly.
We want that fixed. We want the domestic violence to stop. And the sheriff's office could only kind of fix things that we're kind of aware about or
Right.
told about. So, for instance, a lot
And you
of people
have to deal in facts. And
Yeah.
what's there. And
a lot
what's,
of
yeah.
to put it in an analogy, people speeding down the road. We'll get calls all day long. Hey, and that's good. I mean, I'm not saying don't call, keep calling.
Yeah.
But saying, hey, you know, people speeding down my street. Well, we have a way to fix that. We send a traffic unit out there. Maybe we'll, you know, run radar
New
on that
speed
street.
bumps.
Right. You know, so we know how to fix that. But how do you fix domestic violence without putting people into your home? Or we don't want to intrude on people's rights either. I mean, we appreciate our, you know, our rights of, you know, of being free, but so there's that thin line, you know, of what you want to do to kind of stop it, and having them being aware of it and building this high point model here kind of lets us know of who, because we can't put a cop outside your house,
Right,
you
right.
know, so
But this is one way of making it known to the batterers that this is not acceptable here.
Right.
But it's not just coming from police officers. It's not just coming from advocates. It's coming from the community.
right, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
who support this.
right.
Yeah.
And also, hey, if you do
And the
need help-
judges and
right, and if you need, and also at the state attorney's office now, there's a specific DV
exactly.
person over there as well. And I think I can't remember if it's all the DVs is seen by one judge or two judges.
Not sure.
But they're familiar with that role and what we do as well. And then we also have the detective who kind of follows up with the case, make sure that you know, no more crimes are being committed, and make sure that
They're on notice.
Yes,
that's,
they're on
that's
notice.
the magic. Yeah.
And then also to reach out to the state attorney to say, hey, you know, this is how many times this person has done it. This is their criminal history with this, because they have cases to manage too, and sometimes letting them know this is the ones that, you know, we need to really fix.
Right.
We need to find some type of justice here, because that's their job, is to seek justice. What is it going to be? What could it be?
That is excellent to learn, and I'm a little embarrassed that I didn't know that. You know, but I am new to the area. In my defense,
I guess that's why we're doing this. huh?
exactly,
See?
and I want to brag on Charlotte County and even Florida in the same idea that you understand the sexual assault nurse examiners and the kits and the controversy over that. Not here. We don't have kits sitting on the shelf. The same kits are processed
yeah.
right away. So again, facts lead to prosecutions. You know, community not putting up with violence and supporting victims
Sure.
is the other side of it. So I every time I come on here, I get on my soapbox about we cannot do this alone. And I'm sure the sheriff's office would totally agree.
Yes, yeah, and there are signs in today's world. There's a lot of interruptions in lives and a lot of interruptions in between personal intercommunication, and we get that, and we get cultures change. I mean, we're not saying calling like one group of younger people better or worse. It's just it's different. But when you're with somebody, there could be things, signs. A lot of times, the predator or the person responsible for domestic violence, they might be over controlling. You might hear them putting down the abused person often, and then also the abuser or the abused. You know, they might be timid, extremely timid. They might show signs of physical abuse, and that's what we kind of have to ask for.
Ask the community to be aware of those signs. Yeah.
Go to the ladies' room with them.
Yes.
Pull your buddy aside and say, hey, what's going on here? And it's okay to ask questions.
I cannot believe we've had this quick conversation. I told you it'd be quick, right?
Yeah.
So we're gearing down to our last questions. Let me
Okay.
give a couple shout outs. We're here every other Thursday. Please join us at 4 o'clock on Facebook Live. We do want to know what the community needs to know. So send us notes. As we wind down, what is your thing you would really like the community to know about the work that you do?
Just communicate with us.
Okay.
Really. We have of course, our own Facebook, and you have yours, and you know, I think we have a pretty good thing going down here in Charlotte County. I think
Yes,
we have
we
a
do.
good supportive community that supports the needs of people, and good support for the sheriff's office. I've been a deputy other places as well, and I really do think we do it right here.
We have a good community. We
We
sure
do
do.
as best as we can.
If you are a victim or you know a victim that needs help, please call us at 639-5499. We're here 24 hours a day, just like the sheriff's office. And again, CARE, 24 hours a day, free, confidential. Please don't be afraid to reach out. Join us on Facebook on Thursdays, every other Thursday coming up. And again, thank you, Corporal, for being here.
Merry Christmas, and don't drink and drive on New Year's Eve.